at the time of the report, council can talk with them.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. 4.1, Treasurer's Report on the Electromagnetic Reduced Area Report Status. This is for information to council. Deputy Mayor Dag.
Yes, it's evidence that there's some confusion and some misunderstanding about what's happening here, and it's bogging down the process. And evidently, there's it's a very urgent issue because the tower is going forward, and if we're going to do anything, we have to act immediately. But in order to help out staff who apparently didn't really have clarity from council, I recommend that we just go back and look at that original motion that was brought forward. And just preempting it with the fact that it's a staff report we want that provides provides information to council about an inquiry letter to the residents of, so I'm going to make this as a motion, so that council directs staff to provide a report about, I'll give this to you afterwards.
Which motion is that?
It was the original one that was brought up.
But it wasn't passed.
No, but we're, they need clarification. They need clarification on
this motion.
matter.
On the motion.
Yeah, it needs to be clarified. Right, so I'm just, you can't make clarification unless it's in the form of a motion, right? So how are we going to provide clarification otherwise? So, so we're just directing staff to provide a report by our March 4th meeting about sending inquiry letters to residents of Fort Franks, and that's within that whole Fort Franks proper, and request whether they would be supportive of establishing Fort Franks as a frequency-reduced environmental enclave or a beige zone as a refuge for those suffering from exposure to electromagnetic radiation. And a summary of the recent bioinitiative report or comparable research would be included to apprise residents of the potential impact of this electromagnetic radiation to vulnerable individuals, and ask that there be a response within 2 weeks due to the time sensitivity of the issue.
Response from the residents within 2 weeks?
That's right, from the residents.
So you're making that as a motion
I am.
for
yes.
clarification? Is there a seconder to that? Mr. Russell.
I'll second because I'm completely confused.
Okay, well, let me just explain a bit more. From what I understand in the report, the staff are not sure whether we're creating false hopes or what exactly this letter should state to the residents, and we just need them to create a letter, and then we can give some feedback from council, right? So it's not like it's being sent out before March 4th, but we can share whether it's clear enough or whether it's creating false hopes for the people. The point is that we as council want to know whether a majority of the people in Fort Franks would support additional efforts to try to make this a protected zone so that people with electromagnetic radiation problems could come and live there. There's obviously a lot of those people around that are medically diagnosed as having problems, and their lives are debilitated. And yes, I understand it's not within our whole jurisdiction, but the only way you can introduce change is that you pursue as an advocate on behalf of these people. Obviously, Barry did it. They were able to get a tower moved to another location. In our case, we're just saying we want to stay at status quo with the radiation in Fort Franks because it's in the downtown core. There's too many people that are being impacted, and we'd like to protect both the environment and these individuals who have extra sensitivities. So to me, it's an inquiry at this point. We have no idea. If the majority of people don't support it, then there's nothing we can do. But if the majority of the people say we feel that we'd like to keep this protected, then what harm would it have done?
Councillor Cook.
Well, I'm just reading the report, which basically says that, as the deputy mayor already pointed out, that we really have no jurisdiction to stop the tower from going up. So even by telling the people that we might be able to stop the tower from going up, are we gonna move the tower afterwards? Like, they're gonna ask, who's gonna cover the cost of moving the tower if, in fact, we were ever to get the tower to be moved? That's, I don't know, I can't see the point in going through it, the exercise, the cost of doing it. How are you planning on doing the mailing out? You're gonna pay for the cost of mailing out, and getting it back, assessing it, and then deciding on from that what the next step is going to be? That's, I'm asking the question.
Okay, sure, I can follow
Time-
on that.
Timing is an issue with sending out stuff in the winter
Staff already
time.
says, you know, we're not in a position, the municipal act does not allow us to do that anyway, so we can't control where they're gonna go.
Anyone else?
Well, he's
Councillor
asking-
I'll let everybody have a chance. Councillor Underwood.
So the tower's on its way up right now. I didn't like the way it went, for sure. We didn't have enough, but what are the odds of this tower being taken down again? If they weren't listening to us in the first place, or didn't wait for us to put it up, it's up. What are the odds of them saying, oh, all right, and we'll take it down? I can't see them moving it. I don't like the way we did it. I think, quite honestly, we were caught with our pants down without having a telecommunications policy in the first place, which happens. I can understand that because it's moving pretty quickly, right? I thought they had enough down there, but obviously not. So what are the odds? Through you to the CAO, is there any, heard one being moved afterwards?
No, and I think Barry was successful because there was an alternate location for it.
To give the same
A
service?
successful negotiation, yes.
So we'd still be
Not
talking
that
about
they changed it.
We looked for an alternative location and investigated, and it was not available.
Mhm.
Can I speak further to your motion?
Yes, I would. I think there's several things that, that motivate us to pursue this. And one is that, with regards to whether or not we have jurisdiction, the point is that if we as a municipality don't use the leverage and influence that we have, these people are really helpless. Because if you try to go to Industry Canada or to Bell Canada just as an individual person, you're obviously closed out, right? And it's like trying to make a difference even with the wind turbines. And you're not saying that you have jurisdiction, but you're trying to speak into it. You're trying to influence those powers that be above you to make a decision to protect your residents. And I think we have one more step we should take and try to take as advocates for our people. You know, if it doesn't transpire, obviously they're starting, but they had started to do the Barrie one too, and it got moved. So the problem is that we really should have had this dealt with quickly in January, and then we wouldn't be where we're at now, where steps have been taken, and because it was an emergent issue. And steps have been taken to lay some foundations, and but if we can get things out quickly and we can get response letters, then we should try. It's disappointing that we had to wait this long, but there's evidence that we could do something, and who knows if you don't try.
Joe?
Well, I go back to just like with the wind turbines. We've only put stuff in our bylaws to wind turbines that we are legally enforceable. So you're trying to put something into a
I'm not putting anything in a bylaw yet.
Well, no, but you're trying to move something forward here that's a cost, which really, we're not gonna be able to, I doubt if that tower's gonna move. You know, even if you had everybody said they didn't want it there, because there is no other alternate location for it right now. And Barrie, as pointed out, had already had an alternate location for it. So, successful there to do.
Councillor Russell.
Well, I'll take you guys back to June when we started on this, and what we started on is by having support fully unanimously of this council to talk to our member and Industry Canada and Bell and do the negotiations, etc. We passed a protocol which we didn't have in place. It was after the fact, of course, you know, and Bell and those people know how to play the game better because they're in it all the time. In terms of timeliness, timeliness was last fall, and we answered Bell at that point and said, we're against you.